On today's travel review crew, we are going to an Airbnb called Adventure on the Rails in New Brunswick, Canada. Stay tuned. Welcome to Florenceville, Bristol, New Brunswick in Canada. This really great Airbnb setup is actually in a Canadian Pacific train. In fact, there are 3 trains attached to this particular Airbnb setup. This Airbnb, hosted by your host Pamela, actually has 3 cars, 2 of which you can rent that have rooms in them, or actually beds in them. We rented the 3rd car that you see here, and it actually fits 6 guests and has 3 beds, all queen size, with a bathroom with a stand-up shower. If you're a train enthusiast, man, this is the place to be. This train offers a fantastic experience with plenty of history to go around, with plenty of information readily available for you to read on the origin of these trains and exactly where they come from. Now, this train is not disability friendly, so if you have a hard time climbing staircase or have balance issues, this may not be the place for you. But once you climb these stairs, you come up to this really authentic piece here. This little hallway between the 2 cars leads you to the 2 suites. The one we rented is the Adventure on the Rails, and the other is Romancing the Rails, which is really meant for a couple as it only has room for 2 people. Simply put in the code into the electronic lock, open the door, and you are welcomed by the inside of this train rail car. Plenty of room here for you to drop your stuff, information on this location. There's slippers in that deer bag. And you quickly see just how long and extensive this train car really is. There are 3 beds. This is the first of the 3, and as you can see, it's quite large, and every single one has its own light fixture so that at night you can actually turn on the lights, and there's curtains you can see as well that you can draw so that every bed can have its own privacy screen. There are places you can sit here and windows to look out so you can kind of pretend that you're on the rails and traveling. It's pretty awesome stuff. I just want to note as well that besides the very obvious comforts of this location, it is super clean. Everything was spotless. Here's a look at bed number 2 and a seating area. Moving on to the 3rd and final bed. Here's my son Jaden, who's going to show us the light fixture, and Darren, who's exhausted in the bed there. There are AC units, which I assume also provide heat in the main train and dining areas. This kitchen is a very functional kitchenette. I love the light fixtures in this particular train car. It is amazing how all the details really are rail based, from the shelving units and so on. We have some cleaning materials. There are a number of towels and dish necessities to get through, sort of snacks, or if you order food in. There's no cooktop really or oven, so you're not going to be cooking a home-cooked meal in this particular kitchenette, but it's good and functional with all the dishes that you need to snack, or like I said, to, be able to eat food that you've ordered in or that you've brought in from the grocery store. There is a hot plate should you want to heat up some soup or what have you. Plenty of glasses and wine glasses. And this particular Airbnb owner really goes above and beyond. She provides a continental breakfast with various supplies, as well as some freshly baked bread and some fruit. She also provided some juice boxes and yogurts for the kids for breakfast as well, and some milk for coffee. There was ice and all sorts of little muffins and treats that we could have in the morning as well. So actually very, very thoughtful Airbnb owner. We really enjoyed that and appreciated it. This is the living space. There's a dining area, as you can see, with a couch, another air conditioning unit, and we have a sliding barn door, which leads to the shower and toilet area. And as I said, these were very popular. There was a smart TV with applications like Disney Plus on it that you could log into. There's an exterior door in the kitchen area that brings you out to the path outside the back of the train, which, is kind of neat. The owner also provided a very detailed binder with information on the local restaurants and some history on the actual location itself, the trains. And I bet you didn't know that Florenceville, Bristol is the French fry capital of the world, because that is where the McCain headquarters is located. Quite fun to get that piece of information. The little sofa's comfortable, although small, and there are some games should there be a rainy day or should you get bored while you're there. The next morning, I decided to take it upon myself to take a look at the train in full morning sunlight. And as you can see with this beautiful view of these trains, this is a really, really cool experience. And again, as I said, if you're a train enthusiast, this is the place to be, because nothing on this is artificial. These are real trains, real Canadian Pacific cars, and you really do get a sense of that. Everything is original on this. So all of the equipment, all of the pieces of machinery, the gears, the lines, everything is still there. And that door there is where the kitchen is inside the actual car, but you can see the actual cattle car door is still in fact there on the outside of the train, which I thought was really cool. So this is a really neat experience and something I've never experienced before. And I highly recommend this Airbnb if you are traveling through the New Brunswick area, especially if you're, heading between Quebec and, let's say, Prince Edward Island. This is a really great stopover, and that's what we did when we stayed here. As you can see here, this is the original railway station. It's a museum now. It was closed during the time that we were there, mostly because of the COVID crisis. Shogamock, I'm not saying that right, Shogamock Railway. This is the end of the line. Wanted to show you some of the pictures here of this particular location. Florenceville, Bristol is a cute little town. I loved being able to walk the rails and really take a look around and get a sense of what it's like to be in this piece of history. I seriously did just love walking around the train, and would recommend that if you stay here, you do the same and see the old brake wheels and the handles. Just an amazing, amazing thing to see. And this train is on the 53 East, which I'm assuming is part of a complex series of paths and roadways for both snowmobiles and four-wheelers, as we saw four-wheelers go by on a regular basis. There's also a play structure here for those that have young children, and there is also a museum area which was also closed during our stay that was part of this complex. This large piece of land has it all. It has the trains, it has museums, it has a play structure, and a very large parking area for your car. And if you're interested in this particular Airbnb, check out the listing down below in the description. Thanks again for watching, Travel Review Crew. We'll see you on the next adventure.